If you've been thinking about getting the Inspire FTX functional trainer, you're in the right place because today I'm going to be talking about what I do and don't like about this machine. Now I've had this for about 5 weeks and it's been a great machine. If you just want to know whether or not I recommend it, the answer is yes, I recommend it, especially for the price, especially if you can get it used like I did. I got this for about $800. Thank you, Jeffrey from Ohio. I drove about an hour, 15 minutes each way, so about 2.5 hours to get this machine. It was pretty easy to unload actually. And yeah, we drove 2.5 hours to get it, paid $800. But let's get to the features of this and I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like. So one of the things I really like is that you could pretty much do this with one hand. Now there's some times where you can't. If there's an attachment that's kind of heavy, maybe you can't. I usually use 2 hands. I usually do it like this. I'll show you how I do it and I'll show you how you can do it. So this is how I usually do it. It doesn't always make that noise. There's like this little lever, red lever here. And if you don't like fully pull it up, it can like drag, but it doesn't always make that noise. But this is how I move it up and down. It's really smooth, moves really smooth. This is as high as it goes. I'm 5'11", and you know, it's not quite 5'11", but it's almost there. And then let's see if I can show you how low it goes. All right, that's how low it goes. I'll attach a handle to it. I've got bigger carabiners on here, so you could possibly get even a little lower. And looks like they've got, this is one of the handles it comes with, by the way. And they've got like 2 lengths, it looks like. So this is a shorter length here, so if you wanted to do like shrugs, like a kind of difficult angle here, but if you wanted to do shrugs, definitely possible. All right, now that we're down here, we can talk about the weight stacks. There's 2 stacks and each of them are 165 pounds. It is what they call a 2-to-1 pulley ratio. So it doesn't feel like 165 pounds. It feels like half of that, which I think is 82.5. So the heaviest it goes to is 82.5 pounds. And for me, for most things, that's plenty. The only thing where I'll probably reach it soon is on the lat pull downs, and I'll demonstrate those in a second because this thing is a little bit short. A lot of them are short. It's not just this one, it's just kind of the design of the functional trainer. But I'll show you a little workaround I do, and I'll show you what it looks like to do lat pull downs. It's got like a very basic attachment storage. It's got like some little hooks here, and then in the back, it's got like 2 little, let's see if I can show it there. I think you can see that. It's got 2 little, I don't know what you call those, but so you can put some attachments there. It's got this thing for like a phone, a tablet, books, a journal or something. And it also helps support the 2 like stack things. So this is part of the support. There's another support in the bottom. And there's a 3rd support, which I've got above the ceiling. I'll talk about that height in a second. It comes with some attachments. It does not come with these. I bought these. And it does not come with these. I bought these. But it comes with 2 of these. It's got a little brand on there. They're like a plastic type of material. I don't use them all that much because I've got the other ones I bought. But I'm pretty sure they'll work. And they've got this rope for, you know, the tricep push downs, whatever you want to use this rope for. I believe it comes with this. And then it comes with this pull-up bar. Not a pull-up bar, like a lat pull-down bar. And it's got this on both sides so that you can attach it. I'll show you in a second, but you can attach it to both of the pulleys there. And so you can do lat pull-downs like that. I'll show you how that looks. And one question I had when I was looking at reviews for this was, can you use this without the pull-up bar? Because I didn't know if it was going to fit in my space. As you can see, as you saw, or as you can see now, I had to remove these little panels. My ceiling here is about 78 inches tall. And I've probably got like a foot of space up here. And so, long story short, I was worried about this height here. And so what I'm gonna do, I didn't see anybody do this, so I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna remove this pull-up bar up here, and I'm gonna see how stable it is. I don't think you can use it without it, but like I said, I didn't see anybody do it and try it. And I had that question. I know other people had that question. And so I'm gonna remove this pull-up bar here, and then I'll see how stable it is. I'll do a couple of exercises to show you how stable that is. On that note, I've seen some people are pretty creative. I saw somebody that modified this thing where instead of these back attachments, they had like a long piece of wood. And so they made this super wide. And then obviously they couldn't use this because it was a lot wider. So they had another piece of like just a flat board on there. So if you really wanted to, I'm sure you could put a piece of like flat wood on here. You just need something to replace this bar, I'm sure. But we're gonna see that in a second. Okay, so I've removed one side of it. I didn't remove it completely. And it already shifted a little bit that way because it made it real difficult to get the Allen screws, whatever they're called, out of here. But I'm gonna see, I don't know if you can see, but I took one side off, so it's no longer being supported by that. And I'm gonna try some cable flies, and we'll see how the cable flies go. I'm a little worried to do this. Okay, so far no issues with the cable flies, with the stability, I don't think. Doesn't feel unstable. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see that. Hopefully you can see up here. It is not attached, so that will not be helping with the stability. Now I'm gonna try some lat pull downs. I'm gonna use the attachment that is designed for this, just to show you how that works. I just realized I had two different heights on here too. Oops. Okay. So you just clip this to both sides. Now these I can go a little bit heavier than I could for the cable crossovers. We'll see how the stability looks. Again, it's not attached. And we're gonna do some lat pull downs. I've got it at about number 10. It goes up to 15, so not the heaviest it could go, but still pretty heavy. And I'll show you how that looks. I'll go as wide as I can. I don't know what you guys thought, but that felt really secure. I don't know if you actually need this thing. Like if it came down to it, like it is better with it. I think it doesn't feel much different. But wow, I'm kind of surprised. I thought this would be really wobbling. It doesn't seem to be doing that. I'm gonna go a little heavier and see how it goes. I'll try 15, why not? So I've got it down to 15, it's the heaviest it can go. We'll see how the stability looks. Hell, we'll see if I can even do these. All right, there's gravity right there. It's pulling me up. You guys probably can't see, but this is pulling me up, and then I gotta come down, and then oh, it probably looks hilarious. So that was quite heavy. It was bringing me up, and I weigh 200 pounds. And so that was just physics doing its thing. But I don't know if you guys could tell, I didn't see this thing moving. And like I said, it is not attached. That's crazy. That was surprising for me to see. So now that you know that, now that we know that, I'm gonna check the height on this thing. From bottom to the highest point, not including the pull-up bar, like 77.5, we'll call it 78 just to be safe. It was slightly under 78 inches, so that's as high as it goes without the pull-up bar if you're really, really short on space. And then I'll tell you the highest point with the pull-up bar. It's about 82.5, let's call it 83 inches. So just under 83 inches, max height from here. Now we'll talk width. The width of these pulleys, it's about 41.5 inches wide. Now depth, I don't have this in a corner just because of the ceiling heights and because of like the layout I have. I'll show you guys. All this stuff in the corner is the reason I didn't put the functional trainer in the corner. Otherwise, I'm sure it'll fit nicely in the corner. It's got like a sort of a V shape to it. And so it fit really nicely in the corner. I wish I could put it in the corner, but I don't have it there. So now I'll talk about the pulleys that are on here. They are plastic or nylon. I think nylon's a plastic. They're not aluminum. Like I had an aluminum pulley when I had the single cable thing that I made myself, and it was smooth with this. This is also really smooth, surprisingly smooth. So it's so smooth that I'm not sure it's even worth replacing with the aluminum. I might try it. I have two. I don't know what two I would do, but it's super smooth. I like that about that functional trainer. I don't think it looks as nice as the Rep Arcadia, but you can't go wrong with black and white and chrome. It's a nice color to match anything you've got. The pins, I've got no issue with the pins. The starting weight, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. The starting weight is kind of heavy. Like pin number 1, it's kind of heavy for the first set of the rear delt flies. I might just be weak. I didn't train rear delts for a long time, so that might just be my issue. But I feel like the first set I do with rear delt flies, I just take the pins off and just do no weight. And then the next set, I have to do 1. I can't go any lighter than that. And it feels kind of heavy. Like I kind of wish there was something in between nothing and 1. That might just be me. Another thing I don't like, and this one, it's got its pros and cons, and it's the bench. I'll show you that in a second here. This is what I don't like about it. I don't know if you can tell, I might have to get a different angle for this, but basically it's real low. I think it's 13 inches tall. Not even 13 inches, a little under 13. And I just kind of wish it wasn't. I wish it was a little taller. Let me show you what that looks like. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it looks kind of short. My knees are way up. But other than that, I never felt it was unstable. I'll get a few reps in here of, I don't know, maybe the heaviest dumbbells I got. Probably can't do many. That's the one I would use the most. I would use this setting the most, this like first incline. These are the heaviest dumbbells I have for now, the 70s. I probably can only do like 1. So I'll just show you the stability of this. All right. So see, if I always felt stable. I never felt like it was unstable. But then again, this is only 70-pound dumbbells. And so there's stability. Never felt it wiggle or anything like that. This is a setting I use it in the most. Guess, these guys are heavy. But yeah, this bench, not my favorite just because of how low it is. It's also light, which has its pros and cons too. I'll show you one of the pros. Actually, I already showed you one of the pros. It's easy to move. One of the cons is, actually I could probably show you the issue right here. Maybe, if I get down. All right, that's a little too heavy. So this might not be a problem if you do lat pull downs on the floor like I did earlier, which is probably how I should start doing them. But I have been doing them on this bench. I set it on incline, and because it's low, I get a nice stretch. I'll show you how I do them, and I'll show you the problem with this bench being so light. And I guess also me being light. But let's say I'm doing some lat pull downs, I come down. Okay, it's not doing it. It's not doing it because I'm not going heavy enough. Okay. But let's say I go heavier. This at 12 now. Say I go to 12. I'm gonna do some lat pull downs. As you guys, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it pulls me. It pulls me that way because we're not heavy enough together. So that's one of the drawbacks of the bench being so light. Other than the bench being short and light, I honestly kind of like this bench. I haven't had many benches. I haven't had any good benches. This is probably the best bench I've had so far. Before this, I had like a Marcy one, the one that comes with those like squat rack functional trainers. You know, the one that has the little cable machines, and it had like a little bump here. It was just like a cheaper Marcy bench. That was what I had before this for many years. And then I got this one. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's a bench. It's just kind of short. It's light. And for the functional trainer, it works well just because it's not very tall. But for other stuff, it is kind of short. Like I showed you, my knees are kind of pretty high up. If I'm doing like curls, seated curls, and I have my feet forward, they're just kind of high up. If I put it on the bar, even higher. Put it out to the side, even higher. Like if I'm gonna do bench, they just feel kind of high up. And then for like normal flat bench, my whole body fits on there. I feel the little gap here, but it's not a big deal. I know a lot of people really don't like this gap. I'd say it's about a 2.5 inch gap on flat, and I actually don't mind that at all. So I don't know if you noticed, but I did not have this up here attached when I did lat pull down, so I think you can get away with, you didn't hear this from me because of safety, but I think if you wanted, if you really needed to, you could probably get away with not using the pull-up bar. Again, you did not hear that from me. One of the things I forgot to mention that may or may not be a deal breaker for you is that you can't upgrade these stacks. There's no upgrade options. I'm sure you can get creative with it, but it would take some modifications to upgrade the weight stack. There's no like option to buy an upgrade. That's one of the downsides of this thing. The Rep Arcadia, I think it starts at 170 pounds, and then you can go up to like 225 pounds with a upgrade of like $325, something like that. But again, on sale for $1,000, this is a really good machine. Feels smooth. It'll change the way you train like it did for me, I'm sure. It's just so nice having a dedicated functional trainer. Like I said earlier, I thought about getting it with the PR 5000 or 4000. I thought about getting the squat rack with the Athena combined because of space savings or whatever. But if you have space, I think it's really nice to have them separated. Overall, I highly recommend this one. It's great piece of equipment, especially for the price. It's half the price of like the competitors. I don't know what else to say. Especially if you get it used, definitely jump on it. Yeah, just getting this functional trainer changed the way that I trained. Before this, I had this, which I kind of made my own. I just attached it to the functional trainer, and I crimped together, you know, a cable, and that's what I used. But it was kind of sus because one, I made it myself. I wasn't sure how much weight it was rated for, and two, just because of I only had one pulley, and I wasn't far away from it, the weight would swing, right? So I would load 500 pounds for that pull down, not 500 pounds, but I'd load up the weight, and I'd have to spread my legs to do it because one, I was worried that I didn't crimp it good and the weight would fall through and, you know, crush me there. I want kids one day, so that's not good. And two was it would swing, right? Just because of, like, I guess the physics of it. You only had the one cable. You do your reps, and if you weren't super controlled about it, it would just start to swing. It would swing a little more and more, and it worked. It was fine. It did the job. But now that I have this, I'm super happy with it. It changed the way I train. You might be considering other options like the Rep Arcadia. I know that's the one I was considering before I found this one. The Rep Arcadia is about $2,000, and I think this one is probably one of the cheaper ones, definitely in price. I haven't been able to compare the quality, but this one is pretty good quality. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy it much more than I thought I would. It's actually real stable. Let me just show you how stable it is. So here's a pull-up. I guess I'll face you. I can't do a pull-up because I've got no room up here, and I probably can't do a pull-up anyway. But look how stable this is. And then pull-ups. I'm not gonna go all the way up. I'll hit my head. But look. Nobody's gonna be wiggling that much. Unless you do CrossFit, then maybe. But it's pretty damn stable. Now, as of this recording, March 5, this one might be hard to find new. Costco usually sells this. They sold it for a long time, but I think recently they rebranded this to something called the Center 2 FTX. It looks really identical to this, just has a different logo. I don't know what other differences there are, but if as of right now and until March 10th of 2024, the other version of this, the Center 2 FTX, is on sale for $400 off, so $1,000. If you want to get this from, like, I believe Inspire still sells this one, but it's so much more expensive on their website, and I think it's like a slightly different version, It's like the FT1. They've got different versions. They've got one with a, what is it called? The Smith machine, more expensive. I think it's a lot more expensive, but Inspire FTX, 702 FTX, $1,000, around that price point. I think it goes up to $1,400 when it's not on sale. Still one of the cheaper ones because, like I said, the next one up from there, it might be the Rep Arcadia, and that was $2,000. Now, if you're thinking about getting a functional trainer, you're probably considering a couple of other options. One is just using that single pulley like I had. It's cheap and it works. It gets the job done. It's not as nice, it's not nearly as nice, but it gets the job done. Another thing you might be considering is maybe one of those attachments that you add to a power rack. So I was thinking about getting a PR 4000 or PR 5000 and adding the selectorized Athena cable attachments. And that was kind of expensive, not gonna lie. I think it would have come out to like $3,500 with the way I wanted it set up. And so this was $800. It was kind of a no-brainer. I'm really surprised with how much I like this machine. I was personally saving up for the Rep Arcadia, which is about $2,000 before taxes. But then this one came along on the Facebook Marketplace for $800, and the drive wasn't too far away, and I had to jump on it because I was looking for this for a while. I wasn't too sure if I was going to be at this place for too long because I'm on a 1-year lease for here, but looks like we're going to renew it. So I was like, hey, let's pull the trigger on a functional trainer because it looks like we're going to be here at least another year. And so I was looking at Facebook Marketplace like every day, and then finally I found one for $800. Let me know if you would get this machine or if you'd get any other functional trainer, and let me know if you have any other questions that you want me to answer below in the comments. Thank you.